Hi, thanks for watching this video. This is going to explain how to run the lights from a Cuelist on the color source board. So if you're getting trained for lighting, the basics of using this board for an event are running pre-programmed looks off of a saved list. So we can set up the way that we want things to look at different times during the event and then save each of those looks to a specific number, which you can advance through a pre-saved list on this board. So when you walk in, you may be on this away setting, or you may be on, let's say the house lights are up. What you want to do is you want to change the priority control of the lights from this architectural control to this board. And the way you do that is by pressing this button here at the very bottom right. As you can see, the blue lights indicate that that setting is off, and the green lights indicate that setting is on. Right now we have the work lights on, the lobby is on, and right now we're going to press this away/service button. If you press and hold it, it will toggle to our service. Now what this does is this changes all of our light settings over to the color source board so that you can control the lights. So to power on our board, you're going to press this blue button. It's lit up right here and it has a little power symbol. Press that and that'll turn on the board and that'll recall all of the settings that are saved to it. So the basics of this board are based on playlists and cues. We're going to talk about the cue list. So to pull up the cue list, you're going to press this button here. It's the third from the left and it's labeled here. You can press the button here. It's a hard button and that'll bring up the cue list. This is also a touch screen, so you can touch these and these will bring up different things, and so we just want to go to cue list. Now here's a list of light looks that we've saved, and they're in order. They're set up for a worship service. So to advance through the cue list to show the different looks, you're going to press this blue button to advance. This is now a play button, or to take this cue live. And to go back, you're going to press, there's a little button here that's got a back arrow, and you'll press that. Now in order to see these lists, in order to see these looks, you're going to need to take this fader for cues. So anything that's in the cue list, in order to see it, you have to bring this fader up. So if I bring this fader up, we should be able to trigger a look. So this is the look for our video. I'm going to advance to the beginning of our cue list just so we can take a look at what some of these looks look like. So this is, let's see here. This is our first look. This is our walk-in look. So we've got house lights up so people can see where they're going. We've got a little bit of color and atmosphere on stage. Not really any lights on the front line, so if people walk across, they're probably going to be in silhouette. We also have, we're going to go to our next cue. This is a song. Now the way that this look is set up is we don't have any colors set up on the stage. We have things like the house lights are programmed on. We have our front line, which is lit by our stage washes here. But we don't have any looks, and the reason we do that is so that you can change specific things depending on the mood of the song. And the way we do that is through playbacks. So this second fader here, right here, second from the left, if you bring that up, that's going to bring our playbacks active. Now what playbacks are, we have these cue lists saved, which are specific scenes for your stage. And for this scene we have only certain things so that we can bring up the colors, and those colors are going to be defined on this half of the board. Right now we have this half set up with LED color looks, so if you bring up these faders, that'll bring up, let's see here, I've got to switch over to playback. So right now these faders can be, I'm going to just explain this really quickly, these faders can be set up to bring up playbacks, or they can be individual light controls. So as you can see right now, I'm controlling individual fixtures on the stage. As I bring the fader up, it brings up a new light. So I don't want to be I don't want to be triggering individual lights. I want to bring up playbacks here on these faders. So right here, this is a touch screen. You're going to press playback here on the left side. So now these become playback settings. These are looks that we've set up specifically for a cue like this, which is a scene with no color lights set up. Our bucket lights are not on. And to bring up colors, these ones on this side are set up so we have a warm look. We have, let's see, I think we have a purplish, purple and green. So you can set different atmospheres depending on what the song needs. Well, the way that we have this set up, this is a song cue. And so you can change these depending on what the motion background for the song lyrics are, or if it's something where you want to create different looks throughout the song, you can pick pre-saved looks from here. Now our bucket lights, which are incandescents, we have those set up on this half. So we have different settings for that. So we've got just standard on settings. So these go from dim to bright. We also have a slow randomizing pattern, different speeds so you can go fast. We also have a chase setting, which will move the lights across, or a slow chase, which is the same thing but a little bit slower. Just random moving lights. And so what this allows you to do is during a song, say for instance the song starts low or slower tempo, you might have like medium lights, and let's say we have this warm and cool look on stage. So then as the song ramps up, you might want to start moving the lights. So the lights would slowly kind of randomize, and then you might bring them up faster. And then you might add even more energy through this chase effect. And to move between the looks is pretty easy. You want to probably take your look that you're going to, turn that up, and then bring your other one down. If you take this down before you bring up another look, you won't have any colors. Or if you're doing this with the buckets, if you take that and then go up, you'll see, like I did earlier, you'll have a moment where there's not a lot of looks on stage. So for these songs, that's how you set up these looks. And then as you advance through your cue list, so during a service, you're going to have these numbered in order from what happens at different points in the service. So these are actually labeled. We have a welcome. This is song 1. So for song 2, we'll just advance, and we'll move to a different look here. And we have song 3 and 4. If we want to go back, you can just hit back. You almost won't have to use the back button during a service, because you'll probably arrange this, or somebody will have programmed this in order of what you need that week. But if you need to go back, that's where that is. So I'm going to advance, and then we have our bumper, which this is set up for video playback on the screen. So at this point, we don't want any colors or the bucket lights up, so we're going to bring those down. So now we have kind of a muted look so that we can see the screens clearly. And then we move on to our message. So here at this campus, we play back video for our teaching message. And you'll see most of the stage is kind of dim, so the screen takes priority. We do have the house lights up so people can take notes. And then moving on, we have call to offering. So as you can see, you just move through the list by advancing to whatever the next preset is. And then depending on what that cue is set up to do, for instance, if it's a song, you'll need to bring up some looks, for instance, like that. So that way you'll be able to adjust things depending on the mood of the song or whatever needs to happen on stage for that particular moment in the event. So that's how to set up and run the cues. That's going to be the basics of running this light board. For most events, you'll just advance through the cues of whatever has been set up and programmed for that event. We're not going to deal with programming today, but that should get you started for running the color source.